Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Anglicans. My name is Anica Ghent, and I am from the parish of St. Jude, Arima, here in the Anglican Church in the Diocese of Trinidad and Tobago. Today, I will be chatting with a very special guest. She is a lady who can truly be described as a worker in the vineyard, not only in the Northeast region, but also in the wider Anglican Church in our diocese. Yes? So, welcome, Rhona Williams. It is an absolute pleasure to have you with us today.
It's a pleasure being here. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Before we get into the questions, with your permission, can I address you by the name with which I am more familiar? Can I do that?
Sure.
Sure. So it's Auntie Rona. All right.
Ooh, that's everybody's.
That's how I met you, and that's how I'm going to be calling you. All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Great, great, great. So, Auntie Rona, describe yourself in 3 words. Yes, only three. And probably just tell us quickly why you chose those 3 words.
Well, the three words I chose were committed, because once I'm asked to do something and I said yes, I do what I have to do after that. Okay. I don't according to
Definitely,
the young people,
yes.
I don't according to the young people, I don't stick.
That is
Right?
correct.
So, and the other one is I'm reticent. Some people don't know that about me. I am shy. I know they don't know that about me either.
No, this
Yeah.
Auntie Rona, no, shut.
No. Yes, I am not as bad as I used to be,
Right.
but I am still. I don't talk out as I figure I should because I don't know, but that's just me.
Okay.
Um, Punctuality is one of my things. I am a punctual person.
Yes.
When I have a time to do something, if have to get anywhere on time, I try as much as possible, to get out, get there on
Yes.
time.
Yes.
And there are people who have noticed this, especially in my younger years, earlier years, I should say. They have noticed that about me. I remember one day when I worked at the treasury, as you would know, and I worked in a section, the account section. That is account segment. And we had an assignment, and I had to get there Saturday morning. And all of the bosses would have been there, people in
Right.
charge, like the controller, the assistant controller, and it was something to do with salary. And I was on the schedule at the time. And one of the guys who was on the other side of the schedule, he knew me for time. And as I got up the steps and I got into the office and I pushed the door, everybody got up and everybody looked at their watch as though I told you so. I told you she would be here. She has to be here.
Right.
She won't be here. And
Right.
so that, and I don't like to be late. I don't like people who like to be late. And
Good.
so that's,
Yes. So you are committed, shy. I mean, we'll take your word for it. And punctual.
I like to be.
Share with
It
us
has
a
to be
bit,
something
Auntie
rare
Roman.
that when people that.
Right. Got you. Got you. Got you. Share with us a little bit about, your younger days, as you mentioned. So where you grew up, where's your hometown, your schooling, and what church did you attend, and are you attending now?
I am a southerner by birth.
Really?
Really? When I say that, a lot of people say, "You from South?" Yes, I'm from San
Yes,
Fernando.
sir.
Born and bred in San Fernando.
Okay.
And yep. My mother, I tell everybody, my mother was a Baptist, but she
Okay.
made sure we were baptized, christened as we know it,
Yeah.
attended church regularly every Sunday, made
Mm.
sure we attended Sunday school, both in the morning at church and in the afternoon at anybody else's Sunday school at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You have son,
Right.
whether you want to or not, whether you're
No, you
sleeping
had
or
no
not,
choice.
have no choice in the matter. And I've been to Gospel Hall Sunday School, Open Bible Sunday School, so that tells you everything, right? But we went. I attended St. Paul's. I am a St. Paul's product.
Got
In the
you.
days of Canon Fakwa and yes, and Reverend Grasset. I don't know that you would know that name.
I don't, but I'm living.
Reverend Grasset, he was a priest from Barbados, but he was at
Okay.
St. Paul's, yes. And I started in the church. I don't know, you wouldn't know that the St. Paul's Church was a church on the hill, a wooden building, a wooden structure on the hill before that new structure that you know now
No,
was
right.
right.
Okay.
So that's the church I attended. I went to the school that was next door, the St. Paul's Anglican School. Right.
Yes.
And as time went on, I remember one day, well, I attended San Fernando Government School, right? Right. So I remember one day how I got into to singing. One day my mother and I were going, I can't remember exactly where we were heading, but we were on the promenade. I was telling somebody that recently. And this friend of my mother came up and she just looked at me. I was in my school uniform just from school and I had to meet my mom. What do you do beside the school? You know? She
Yeah,
said,
but
I
that
said,
face too.
no, I couldn't.
Okay.
No, I could,
Okay.
no, I couldn't. You know, I looked at her and I said nothing because there was nothing I used to do really. Go and join the choir. That's the choir in St. Paul's.
Mm.
Okay. You know, ask any question. They didn't even ask me if I could sing. My mother
Nothing.
didn't say, no. My mother said nothing.
Right.
And all I said, okay. And that was it. From there, after that, there was no turning back. So I went and I joined the St. Paul's. At the time, they called it the junior choir with
Okay.
Mistress Wooden, Marjorie Wooden. You heard that name before.
Yes.
Right. She's the lady who made the Marjorie Wooden masks. Right. And I was with her. In those days, there was Mrs. West. She was a member of I think she was in the senior choir, she was in choir too. Father West, he was an acolyte at the time. You know, so those are the people who are around in that era.
And
And I
that era.
see, yes, so I was with
Okay.
Mrs. Wooden, you know,
Okay.
and we used to sing for weddings and, you know, funerals and so. And
Yes.
anytime one day it came up, and yours truly was the only one.
What you mean?
This about people not turning up. It's not from now, you know, it's from a long time. So
So you had
I
a solo performance then? That wasn't a choir?
thank you. But I was there, as I told you, once I'm committed, I am going.
That is
So I
true.
went, right. So I went, and from then on, I became a soloist. Because every time there was a wedding, Mistress Wooden would say, Rhona, wedding, so. And I would go. And
Okay.
then Canon Fakwa, one day I sang and I was sitting close where he was to the altar. After now I have my psalter, and he gave me this psalter. You know, he heard me singing and he just presented me with this psalter. You know, so I have it up until now. So all that time, that is when I started solo work, you know.
Got you.
And then when I left there, came into Port of Spain in 1966. Yeah. And at that point, I was out of church. I lived in Santa Cruz with my dad, and his wife was an Adventist. So I went to the Adventist church. And there was
Right.
no Anglican church in the area. And I
Okay.
was not forced to go. But eventually, when I started working there, is where I learned a lot of other songs, a lot of hymns. And then I
Mm.
went to the Bible because they were into the Bible, right? And then I started working. And then I reconnected with my church by going to the cathedral,
Okay.
right? And I started, one day I canon clerk who was there at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And one day, it was my birthday. By the way, I just celebrated a birthday, I think it was last week. Right? One day I just this when I said, can I sing for my birthday? And he said, no problem, it's okay. Just
This is
so.
the same shy lady, yes?
Yes,
Oh.
yes, the same one.
Fun.
And he said, no problem. I said, okay. And he said, okay, whenever. And I went and I sang that Friday. And that was it. And after that, one day, just so, he called me, say, come, when are you going to sing for us again?
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay. I said, all right. I said, okay. We decided, okay, I think it was every first or third Friday, something like that. And I was adopted in the cathedral at that time. So I became a part of the cathedral.
Okay.
Because every Friday I was there, And I just from one to the next, and then I went to the wider, then I started while working, I was involved in other things. And then one day I was involved in the sports club in the church. And one day, as I was telling the children, they used to do how I started back in the church. As though I just stopped off for whatever reason. And one morning, I was going home, coming right where I am here, coming home. And when we passed by the church was bright. They were getting ready for service. And
Okay.
here I was now going home.
Right.
And I checked back. I said, this is not what I know. Because
Mm-hmm.
she brought us up in church. I said,
Right.
this is not the life you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to go back to church. At that
Okay.
time was Father Benjamin, David Benjamin. I don't know if you ever heard about him.
Mm.
He was in charge of St. Mary's. And I
Okay.
started going back to church.
Right.
Pick myself up together again, and I started going back to church. And then I got into the music ministry in the church, started
Yeah.
singing, and then they heard
Right.
me singing, and the children asked me, could you help us? And so. So I know I am equipped to help anybody with anything because I don't play an instrument, I don't play the piano. All I know I could sing. At least it's an
Well,
instrument.
that is your instrument, actually, yeah?
I know it is an instrument. It is an instrument.
Good.
But the other instrument you need, really,
Yes. Yes.
you understand?
Got you.
So I felt I wasn't equipped enough, but I did piano up to grade 1 because I was really focusing on voice. You see, so I have my certificates in voice.
Okay.
So up to grade 8, I have in voice. So that I said, okay. So I'm always apologizing and asking the Lord to forgive me
Why
for
is
not
that?
for not for not going forward more with my music
Okay.
instrument, So I always beg them, Lord, let let me use the little I have to do plenty.
Excellent. That is
Yeah,
good.
that is what I always ask for. So with that, at work, I got involved with the treasury singers.
Right.
While outside, I was involved in other choirs. So there's a
Okay.
whole, right? We had the treasury singers, and I was with Desmond Waite Center. I sang with Chantel's Immortal, and I sang with Rhona Myers Choir,
Ooh.
Choral. I had
Right.
a little stint with marionettes when they were celebrating, I think, their 40th anniversary. And there were little things here and there. So it's
Yes.
a talk from now until whenever, but
Yes.
you know.
Well, I know you. I mean, you touched on a few things there, Auntie Rhona. So we're gonna see if we can get a little bit more out of you. So I know you mentioned to be actively involved in church life. You've spoken about, I know you to be involved in many other things, whether it's serving on the Sanctuary Guild, you're giving to the house bond, quite a bit, you know. Tell us who or what inspired your life of service, of serving others?
Boy, so many people. Um, hmm, few people, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I look and I see people doing things, because I like to work, number one.
Yes.
And I like, because I look at TV a lot now, because every time I sit doing nothing, I feel like I'm wasting time.
Mm-hmm.
So I one time poor people keep telling me, slow down and keep quiet and things, but that's not me. So I told myself, okay, you are going to sit in front of this TV and look at it. So that is how I began looking at TV. But I like working. But I
Right.
see people, I see things going on around me, and there was something attract me about the whole thing. And
Yeah.
I will start helping, around doing things. And then eventually I find myself in it.
Good.
Because people are going to say, okay, you're in here long enough to come and join. With
Right.
COVID, it slowed down because I am with the stewardship committee. And that kind of the work with the number of people, we didn't need so many people. So I looked aside and I saw the social outreach, and I liked what they were doing. They were
Yeah.
helping. That is the committee that gives out food hampers, help people outside there who are less fortunate, all this sort of thing.
Right.
And I
Yes.
said, well, while I am home with COVID, I mean, I'm not coming out as I am accustomed to.
Some.
Let me
Mm-hmm.
get out, and use that time to do something else. So I joined the social outreach. So I am now
Mm.
I'm a member of the social outreach, which I
Okay.
enjoy so much,
Yes.
and they inspire me to do a lot of things. And all the other
Right.
people about the Sanctuary Guild, I just like to do.
I
I
see
just like to
that. So it seems like
do.
you're just inspired either by the
Yeah, I know here
or
another
the
one person who really inspired me is
yes.
Mrs. Claire Stout, the deceased.
Right.
Yes. She got me involved. She and Mrs. Nelson, Gwendolyn Nelson. She used to be the church's warden, the priest warden years ago, right?
Okay. Yeah.
She told me, Rhona, why don't you join not the prayer group, the Bible study group? So I will join the Bible
Right.
study group. Claire will say, okay, she voted going to go and visit the sick, go and give
Yes.
communion. I got involved into that. When she
Yes.
knew I was going to retire, she said, Rhona, she didn't even wait to ask me, Rhona, you want to do, Rhona, go and join so and so.
Right.
So,
She had things for
so
you already.
you understand how it was?
Yes.
So, I also the little inspiration I got, and I have
Yes.
no regrets. Even with the youths,
Yes.
when we were going, we used to go to Tobago on retreats,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
when it was going to start, Father asked her herself and Mrs. Griffith, Grace Griffith, Miss Griffith, right?
Yes.
Father asked, okay, we'll have you two, and who else? And I sat there, as I told you, I'm very reticent. And I sat down there, I'm just looking at all three of them. So then he said, okay, Rhona, you. I said, okay.
Right.
You understand? So that's how I got involved. But because I
Right.
was still working, and it
Okay.
would have entailed me having to go to Tobago or whatever it was Tobago we started, right?
Yeah.
And I used to go when time comes, when they will go before me, and I will go and join them whenever guest asks you the time of, especially over the weekend. And while I'm going and I call him, we say, you coming in and you still working? I said, well, I have to say about things in the office, you know. So that is how I got involved. And it's a lovely thing working with those youths.
Well, tell us, because that's something else I also wanted to touch on, Auntie Rhona. I mean, as you said, you're inspired by the people around you and the things that are happening around you, and that idea of you working and contributing. I get that. But as you mentioned, I know you to be also very much involved with youth ministry. You've been doing so for a number of years, over
Mhm.
5 years plus. I am in.
We have been going to Tobago for
Tell
a
us
number of years.
why you place such emphasis on youth ministry.
youths are our future,
Yeah.
right? And they need nurturing.
Yes.
And if we don't do it, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
We wouldn't have a future. As they say,
Right.
they are the church going to fall down. Because when I am getting out there, I am trying to get some kind of thing so when I let go, somebody else will hold on, you know. But it is hard to get that follow up, you know.
Right.
And as I tell them, I said, try and do the choir, and so I will try and get one I know who is interested in music. I said, go and learn an instrument. You could sing, go and learn an instrument, you know, so, you know, it will be,
Yes.
you know. But and then we at one time we used to work with the home on a Thursday, twice
Yeah.
for the week. The home school, St.
Mm-hmm.
Mary's home school.
Yeah.
Claire again pulled me in this thing. So as I said, it's something I like. And it wasn't easy. And when we will finish on a any Thursday, we will just laugh and say,
Right.
Claire, we will tell each other we're not giving up. We're
Nice.
not giving up. If it's just one,
Oh,
we could get to turn
yes.
one, if
Yes.
we could get. And then she passed on. And while she passed on, I had my eyes focused. I had to get somebody. We had to continue. And I asked one of the sisters in church. I say, come, I know you could do it. You know. And she was a little thing and thing. And the children, they need it. And she came and the children they started because of the term, you know, they've begun to get more interested because she had a way with children. She was a teacher and she retired.
Excellent.
So she had that way, and I knew she had it. And the children would just get in because they started asking her questions. I dealt with the younger ones, little tiny dots. You know,
Right.
they started so loving it
They
because as
are.
oh my gosh, when they are going, they know they're giving you trouble. Yeah? Oh God.
Yes.
You know, you give them the little buff and thing, but when they go in there, they come and hug their binders and they come in and
Right. They're so sweet. Yes.
so just as those children were coming into it, they were asking her questions, Miss, how do I get to know the Lord and all this kind of a thing? COVID shut down.
Right.
Up to now, we are trying to find a way to get back into them and get them back to church. But it's not
Right.
easy. You know it's not easy in those
Yes.
institutions. So
Yes.
I love them. And sometimes those who were there before in the home itself, we work with them. I used to leave home and as for the singing, I'll go in an afternoon, get them out to come teach them to sing, you know. And then you know how they are. I don't know if you know. Sometimes when you're looking for them, they run away, they go and hide. They're coming out and think, man, I still go in. And then after I
Lovely.
say, well, look, it's they're working. But those children who held on, they never forget you. Because sometimes I do walk and people say, Miss Williams, you know me? Yes, miss, remember you used
Yes.
to teach us to sing? So,
Right.
and you know, they never forget. And they have
Yes.
grown and some of them into the music, some of them singing, some of them, you know. But I just love them. The children, they really need us, you know.
They do.
They
They
really need us.
do. And
Children, they have issues.
yeah.
They have a lot of issues. But, and we will tell them, look, so, and they say, no, miss, mommy, so. I say, listen, you know what miss teaching you here and what you have to know? Go and tell
Right.
mommy and daddy they must not do so and so, they must not do so and so. But the thing
Yes.
about, you know, children, you have them in one environment when they are here with you. You tell them things, you teach them things, and they go to
Yes.
another environment, the same old
Right.
environment that they are used to. So it's adjustable for them. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
not easy with them. So we have to fight and fight to get because when they're gone, what do we have? You
Yeah.
know, so
But we
we can't do that.
yeah.
Um,
And we certainly commend persons like yourself, Auntie Roma, who are consistent and steadfast and committed to helping nurture our young persons. I mean, we definitely need that, yes, especially in the society that we are in now, you know, where they see many distractions, yes, they continue and will always need guidance from persons like your girl.
because I could see those that I am in charge of now. They are big men and I have to say men and big men and ladies, and they don't let go.
Yes.
They don't let go, and I am so grateful for that. So
Thank God.
we always have this little talk, and Auntie
Yeah.
Rhona and I call them, they call me Rones. We have
Yes.
that understanding, Rones, how we're doing, and so, I
Yeah.
good. But there's that love and that respect.
Yes. Yes.
We respect each other.
Yes. And it speaks also to the impact that you have had on their lives. Yes.
Like, because sometimes I sing to
Do-
myself
Don't
somewhere
suppose
in
at
my
all. Don't do that.
I think to myself somewhere in my youth or childhood, I must have done something good, you know.
There you
So,
go. There you go. I also see, Auntie Roa, that music has and continues to play a very important role in your life. So whether you are training the choir there at the St. Mary's, their youth choir in particular, or you yourself being involved in the choir and the chorale, even your time with the treasury singers, music has always played an important role or has always been a part of your life. Yes?
yep.
What motivates you to still continue your ministry through music? Because that is really what it is. It really is
Mhm.
ministry, or
It is.
one of your ministries rather. What motivates you even at your at your young age here?
Yes, ma'am. I turned 75 last week.
You
Okay.
did! Oh, happy birthday! So that means you're a Pisces, Auntie Rona?
Yes. You
What?
are?
When is your birthday?
It was on the 3rd.
My birthday was on the 9th of March.
Belated happy birthday.
Happy belated birthday to you too. That's why I like you so much. Yes.
Yes, darling.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes, I just like to sing. I love to sing, and I've been singing since before I started publicly. So I will sing
Right.
around the whole neighborhood and they hear me next door and all this sort of thing. And yes, when I started working in the treasury, one day one of our members, he had a bad vehicular accident,
Mm.
and they decided to have a concert for him to get some
To raise
funds, raise some
funds.
funds.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. So we gathered these people and they had this, the choir was big, and I was in charge of the choir.
Right.
And after the concert was finished, they came to me and said, Rhona, we want to sing, but we want to join the choir, but we want to sing, we want to keep the group going also.
Right.
I said, well, yes, you keep singing, but what are you going to sing for? You have to have something about it. You're not just going to sing just so. You
Right.
must be singing for something, for somebody, for some occasion or whatever it is.
Gotcha.
So then I came up with an idea. So, okay, you all want to sing? Okay. You're going to start singing. We'll go out to the homes.
Mm.
These homes for the aged,
Yes.
right? Like this St. Vincent de Paul and all these little homes. I don't remember half of them because we had a whole lot of them we used to go to. Right,
Right.
especially around Christmas time. Sometimes we go to 3 of them in a day, in an afternoon. Yeah.
Lovely. And spread some cheer.
Right. So we started off doing that and we became a household name with people, the
Mm.
treasury sings. And it was a pride for the treasury itself to know that they had a bunch of people, respected people who people never took for granted, you know. And we just spread out. The group became a little smaller after a time that because some people retired and they went to other ministries and all this sort of thing. But
Right.
we had a core that stuck together and we still went out. Christmas, we would have gone to people's luncheon here and there and everywhere. The president's house, sometimes we hit the president's house maybe 6 times for the season. That's the time with President Richards. Then we have, all these people. And we there was a household name, but everything went well. Only was one person right now is still working, right? So that has died down. But we were able to do two CDs.
Oh,
Yes, we did two CDs that really made its waves around the place. Right?
lovely.
We used to play it on the airwaves 7:30 when we had this guy, what's his name? I'm not remembering this guy's name. Names, I'm very rotten with names. Eh?
That's okay.
Edison Carr. He used to play our CD first thing when Christmas season starts. Yes.
Oh,
Right. And from there, when I started into church, I just wanted to sing. I like to, and whenever I sing, I like to give a message. Whenever I choose a song, is
excellent.
because I am telling you something.
Yes.
I want you to hear something. As I tell people, I said, don't come and ask me to sing a new song. Because once it doesn't make sense,
Mm,
I'm not singing it. Right? I am not singing it. Don't ask me to sing it. So I said, I need, and to do that, I needed my own stage. And to get my own stage, I had to give my own concert.
right.
Right? So I started having my concerts every 3 years. And
Yes. This is
one
at
day
St. Mary's Church, right?
yes, actually my
Yes.
church.
Yes.
So the first when I was going to have the first one, I went to this, somebody sent me to this lady in Valsine and for some advice. Because I'm new in the business. I don't know what to do. Because I
Okay.
was thinking big. I said, okay, I'm going to Queen's Hall. I have the money, I'm going to rent Queen's Hall, I'm going to have my concert. Yes.
Right.
When I went and we sat down and she was talking, she said, why you want to go so big? She said, don't you belong to a church? I said, yes. She said, well, go to your church. And I went to Father Benjamin, David Benjamin, deceased or rest his soul. And he said, no problem. And in 1993, I had my first concert.
Wow.
And last year would have been my 10th concert. But
Yes.
because of COVID, that was closed up.
Mm-hmm.
So I am looking forward to see if it can be done this year. So that is where I started every 3 years. And people look forward to it. What about the concert? You're not having a concert? And the thing is every
Yes.
I said, no, I cannot have a concert every year. That would make no sense for me. So
Mm-hmm.
I have to have material, good material. And I have a thing, if you can't do it properly, don't do it at all.
Yes.
Right? So I would make sure and have my start working on it like a year before to make sure I get the material, make sure I get the right people, get my theme. I started off
Nice.
with modes of Rhona before I sing everything. From
Right.
classics to
This
calypso.
this same shy lady, right?
That has nothing to do with it. Shyness has
Okay,
nothing to do with it.
I'm pulling your legs, Auntie Rhona.
Yeah. So I sang a whole lot because when I involved with all those different choirs, I pulled them in. Before I
Right.
sing folk, but
Yes.
there's one who was a folk, more folk, right?
Yes.
And then the classical I did with the other choirs, and we sang classical also because we sang
Yes.
everything. We sang
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
And the others might be more classical than that. But
Yes.
when I went to gospel, at mainly gospel where I had gospel alone, and I pull in the youths and then come in and sing, and
I
I
know
pull
that,
in.
and that is what I was going to actually emphasize. I also know that you make a point yet again to incorporate the young persons in your
Yes,
and showcase
yes,
have them showcase their talents. Yes.
yes, talented, very talented. So I have to
Yes.
push them. Like the first set I had before this set, there was one in particular, and when she started singing, I said, okay, Donna. Now I can find notes on the keyboard, but I cannot play fluently, say, like the right. So I will get to the piano and say, okay, come on. I know she can sing, and you have a voice. Okay,
Yeah.
sing this. Oh, Miss William, I can't sing so high. I said, just open your mouth and sing it, please. And she started singing.
Right.
She shocked herself. She thought
Yes.
she could have made the note. I said, I don't sing there, but I know you could make it. I
Mm,
know you could make it, so just open your mouth and sing. So
lovely,
all Donna
lovely.
made all her notes, so she always want to tell everybody all over the place, Miss Williams is the music teacher. Poor Miss Williams. Miss Williams is the music teacher.
Yes, yes.
I had a good, and up to now, I have a good relationship with all of them.
Yes,
All, past,
yes.
present. you
Yes.
know.
Yes.
So I think probably I'm not doing something good. That is why,
Yeah, yes. Yes, Auntie Rona. No, you are giving up
but
your
I really
you
love
are
to work
giving
with
up
them.
your talents, you're giving up
Yes,
treasures. We know this.
yes, yes.
You ensure, Auntie Rona, that you too remain, nurtured and sustained physically, mentally, and spiritually. What do you do to ensure, that you also nurture and feed yourself?
Mhm. Well, one of my other, I don't call her spirit. I always think of her as one of my spiritual mother. She's deceased also. Every time I
Mhm.
think about that, when she passed, boy, I cried, I cried.
Yes.
That was
Condolences.
yes, that was Hunt, Mrs. Hunt,
Yes.
right? And she, I was into the I did guide, prayer guide.
Yeah.
There was a little session. I did that. I did the life in the spirit. I did the other one they have doing now on the diocese. Oh boy, sometimes I wonder where my memory went. Um, but I did these little courses that kept my spirituality intact.
Right.
You know, I will go on retreats because you have to get away. You can't be in this
Yes.
busy world all the time. You know, so I got into the retreat, and all these helped to keep me. In the Bible class, as when to be go and join the Bible class, and I enjoy it. Up to now, we do
Mhm.
Bible class on Zoom, not on Zoom. We do it on WhatsApp. Right? There's a group of us we have on a Wednesday. We do that, and
Lovely.
these things keep me. And I love going to church.
Mm.
I just love going to church. As I tell you, when
Mhm.
people say, listen, I want you all to go to church. I'm not telling you all to go to church every Sunday morning like I do. But please, go to church. And when I told
Yes.
him to get back into church, I am not pushing. I said, God enforce himself, doesn't force himself on anybody. I am not going to do it. Okay?
Right.
But I would like you all to just get back, find yourself back into church. You
Yeah.
know. So I keep myself with that.
Yes.
Life in the spirit, that was a lovely thing. One day when Mrs. Hunt, I was in the group with her, and I was the leader. She and I were there together. And one day she told me she has to go out. Oh boy, I got worried one time.
Why?
You have to go. What am I going to tell these people?
Uh-huh.
Because she was the leader,
Right.
you know. What am I going to tell these people? So I said, okay, jump, you have to do it. His name is Claudia Hunt. I don't know if you ever heard that name, Claudia.
I definitely
Right?
did.
Remember how she was, remember how she died. Right.
Yes, I recall.
That was a real blow for me. Really, really, really blow. So I said, Lord, what am I going to do? God, if she isn't here, I am supposed to hold the fort. So I just said my prayers, and when the day came, that was taking place at Good Shepherd. I said, okay. So we went, and things went on. Rhona did what she had to do. And I said, thank you, Lord. So all these were things that kept me, intact
Yes,
and helped me to help others. Because if I can do it, anybody else could do it. And other people
wonderful,
need to
wonderful.
do it, you know, especially where God is concerned. I know I might have started a bit late, but we grew up in church, as I said. My mother was
Yes,
there, you
yes.
know.
And you've never been
That's what,
far from church based on what
right,
you've shared
you
with
know.
us. Yes.
Like I used to remember when during Lenten season, we have Wednesday evening services. And I would find myself down in the church in a corner. When I look around, I was the only youth in the church. But that didn't matter to me. I went to church. You
Right.
understand? You
Yes.
know, so that is how I feel. And then I know that as I'm home, when I used to work, I will walk with my books. I say, okay, when I get to the office, I read, because when you're getting ready for work, when you get up, it's a
Yes.
fight. Just so when I'm
Yes.
reading, you have to, is either you get up very early or do sleep because then you have to get up and get ready, get the travel.
Right.
As I said, I'm a punctual person, so I want to make sure I get to work on time.
Mm.
Right? So I will get, they will ask me, well, Rhona, what time do you leave home? Anybody on the road with you when you come into work? I say, yes, I'm not the only person. 5:30, I am on the road. I'm going to work, even if I have to go and sit down in the office. I might be outside in the office, but I am there.
Right.
And I
Yes.
will walk after. So, okay, I will walk with my books to the office and read.
Love.
And something while I'm reading, somebody will come in with a conversation. So I say, okay, like they say, working. I
Yes.
say, sometimes people come and people want to talk.
Right.
It won't be a gossip or anything, but some people just want to talk,
Yes.
and not that they want you to say anything,
Yes. They
just
just want someone to listen.
right, you know. So then I say, well, like this part I'm working. I will read as much as I could. If nobody
Right.
comes in, I will read out. If they come in, I
Yes.
will just close up shop. And
Yes.
now that I'm retired, every morning I try to do my study.
Lovely. Lovely.
So that is what keeps me at this time. So I
Yes.
try not to push the youth too much because I know where I've been, you know. So I just try to encourage them,
Right.
encourage them to just
Yes.
keep that
Yes.
connection and
Fantastic.
get more involved. I'm trying to bring them back out, but little by little, we working.
Yes.
I really have the talent, so I'm trying to using that as the roadway to get them back into, you know. But
Lovely.
they don't give me a fight.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Who
you have
would
to know,
dare do
you have
that,
to know,
Auntie Runa?
you have to know to deal with them. I love them so much.
Oh, we
Yeah.
love you too. Now, in your spare time, so we're talking about your life of service and serving the church and serving the young people. But outside of that, Auntie Runa, tell me one thing you like to do in your spare time, just to relax or something, that brings you great joy. One thing.
What I do now that with this phone that I never wanted, I I play solitaire. You know, I never wanted a phone, but when I
Yes.
told the story, when they had just come out and they in the church singers, and they wanted to give me a gift for, I don't know if it was birthday, Christmas, whatever it was, and they said, Rona, we want to buy your phone because we can never get you when we want you. I said, but I don't want a
Mm-hmm.
phone. I don't want a phone because people tell me I'm never home. I don't want a phone. I said, listen, you all want to call me on any time. Call me in the morning, call me late in the night, you'll get me. But I will never home. So I say, look. So I never took them on. So one day my nephew called me and he said, Auntie, happy birthday, ting. Um, something with the phone, he told me. Did you get the phone? I said, what phone are you talking about? I said, you didn't give me the phone. Because he and all wanted to give me a phone. I said, you didn't give me a phone. He called his wife. Karen, did I give Auntie a phone? She said, no. I said, thank you, Jesus. Because but I got the I got the phone eventually. I ended up with two. And
Ah,
I lost, right? And I lost one.
okay.
Right? And but because one thing with this, I always say there's too many disadvantages. And when I look at the way how it's destroying some people, especially children, with the bullying and the. But I mean, as I
Yeah.
said, there are the advantages and disadvantages.
As with
So
everything, the good and the bad. Yes, yes,
if
yes.
I use it, I'm on WhatsApp, and some of them even say, Auntie Rona, you on WhatsApp?
Well, did you not see my facial expression? I said,
But then
right?
I said, but your fresh self. She said,
Eh.
and you always say, no, she's do so and so and so and so. I said, okay.
Lovely.
You know. So, and we communicate via WhatsApp.
Lovely.
So
And
I
that's one of
go
the
on,
advantages. Yes.
So I go and I
Yes.
do solitaire and I communicate with them and the other friend,
Okay.
watch the television with my game shows when the news time come, but little times to enjoy. I look at my game show and I look at the old shows that will have me laughing because there are
Right.
too much sadness, so too many sad things
Right.
going on around us.
Yes.
And I don't like. I mean, you have to face reality sometimes,
Yes.
and listen and look on to what is going on
Yes.
around you. You have to be
Yes.
aware.
Yes.
It's a real world, you know.
Definitely.
But I I don't know.
Yeah. Sometimes
Like,
you need things though to lift your spirits. Yes. So you're not ignoring what's happening, but sometimes to
I'm
be
not.
able to deal with it, you sometimes
Yeah,
just need to be,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
um,
Yeah.
have
Now,
have your spirit lifted.
mm,
Yes.
now
Yes.
they
And
have the
a little humor never hurts.
no. I love humor. I love humor. I love
Right.
humor. I love it very
Good, good,
much.
good.
The time a
Yes.
guy told me in choir, he said, after choir, we were closing. And my face is always serious, seriously. But not anymore, not so much. So one day this guy looked at me. He said, you know something else, He said, you would make a joke and have your face serious, 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 and you get people in trouble because people laughing. So I didn't laugh. But I love a good joke. I love it.
Right.
I laugh a lot now, but before my
Yes.
face is very serious. But I've
Yes.
overcome that because one time a guy, this is Roger Israel, who did all our recording with the Treasury Singers. One day he
Okay.
looked at me and said, "Rhona, you take life too seriously."
Hmm.
And I with people when I thought about it. It could be true. So, I try to loosen up a bit. You
Okay.
know, because
Okay.
taking life too seriously could be a little dangerous sometimes.
It can. It
You
can.
know,
They say laughter is good for the
good
soul.
medicine. It's good medicine.
It
You
is.
know.
It is.
So now I enjoy like this afternoon is SWL. I will sit down and look at them. If I go,
Yes.
I go. So
Yes.
yeah.
Wonderful. And we know you're also involved in SWL. We didn't even get a chance for that at Girona. But
Yes,
let's move on
so,
at Girona. So I'm gonna ask you some questions. The answer
mm,
just want, like the first answer that comes to your head. Don't think about it too long. Just give me the first response that comes to your head. All right?
mhm.
You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What is your pet peeve?
Yes, I had some time to think about that. You see, lateness and
Well,
punctuality.
I thought anyone who's watching up to now should have known that that would have been your answer. That's
Yes,
right.
it really
Okay.
gets to me. Really, really gets to me. You know,
Yes, that's all right. One thing you cannot live without on a daily basis. Just one thing.
when I get up in the morning, I like to say my prayers. If it's only the Our Father,
Yes.
long ago I might get up and might read and things. But I have a pattern now. I will get up and I will say my prayers and then do some other little things, and then I will get into doing the morning prayer. Spend more
Nice.
time in the morning prayer.
Yes.
But I feel a little lost, plenty lost without that.
Excellent. So
You
prayer
have to
helps to center you.
connect.
Yes.
You have to
Good,
connect.
good, good. So continuing with these questions, you have two options, but you're still choosing one. All right?
Mhm. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, anyways.
Don't worry, you'll be fine. So it's called Would You Rather? So I'm giving you two options and you're just choosing one. Great.
Mhm.
So roti or doubles?
Roti,
Okay. Sorrel or ginger beer?
ginger beer.
All right, so you don't like sorrel? Sorrel is it? Sorrel is
It's acid, and I have to keep away from acid.
okay. All right, no problem.
Mhm.
The next one. Singing in the choir or training the choir? Which one you prefer?
Hmm. Hmm. Wow.
Hmm.
Wow. Well,
Just one, don't think too
at,
long.
at this point of my life, I will choose training the choir.
Training the choir. Okay, all right.
Mm.
Here's the next question. Singing with the treasury singers or singing with Sunday worship live?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, where I am right now,
Uh-huh.
spiritually, with the SWL,
All
you know,
right. Okay.
although at the time, Treasury Singers was something else, But
Yes, yes. Yeah.
um,
Just by your stories, it sounds like it was a really wonderful
because at
experience
that
for you.
because at that time there was no SWL.
Yes, yes.
You
Got it.
understand?
Okay, so
Yeah,
yeah, that was an easy. Ah, see what you did there.
yeah. Yes, yes, SWL. I
That's
love to sing.
okay.
I
And
love to
my
sing.
the final option would be, do you prefer online services or services in person?
I like my live services. I
Yes,
like my live services. But
yes,
I mean, it's a good thing that we have that we could do online services. We still have the services,
yes,
we're still connecting. It's
right.
not the same as when you are among people.
Yeah,
You can touch, although now that you can't really touch and all this kind of thing, but you still
yeah.
have that connect, you know.
Good,
So,
good, 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 good. All right, you didn't do too bad, man. Now we're drawing the interview to a close almost. And I have a little secret to tell you. Well, it will no longer be a secret once I say it. So I know about you, Auntie Rhona, but in order to ask some of the questions I asked, I did a little investigating, all right? So I touched
mhm.
base with some of my people, my fellow young people at St. Mary's. So
Yes, I had to be
yes,
something like that. I was going to say,
yes,
where did you get all these things from?
yes, yes, but that's all right. That's
No problem. No problem.
lovely. And I want to just read to you one comment that, I mean, it touched me. And I also think it will touch persons who are listening and watching because it really sums up the impact, and we spoke about it in the interview, the impact that you have had and continue to have on the young persons. I'm not going to tell you who sent it, but just listen. It goes like this. You can mention, and they were telling me, I can mention she's more than a mentor for most of us. She's like family. We appreciate her and Mrs. Stout, now deceased. We appreciate your candor with us, with the young people. They never act above us or force us to lead a certain life. They just share honest experiences with us from when they were our age and encourage us to lead positive lives, pleasing to God. And they mainly do that, well, did it back then and continue to do that by leading by example.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
And that's why we love you, Auntie
Mesmerizing.
Rhona. Yes?
Wow, 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 wow.
So those are just some words that have been shared about you, as I said, and the impact that you are having and continue to have on the young persons. And I'm sure many others, but as I said, my informed
Thank God for that.
the
Thank God for that. Only
some of
God.
the young people at your
Only,
yes,
yeah, only God can do that.
good, good,
Truly.
good.
Mhm.
Yes. And so my final question, Auntie Rona, if you can speak to your younger self, what words of advice or what words of inspiration would you share? Would you share with your younger self? And by your younger self also represents, young persons generally. So, what words of advice would you share?
Ah, boy. My advice is, listen, listen to your parents.
Right?
You know, be obedient and don't, as I told them just recently, I know sometimes your parents get under your skin,
Yeah.
but you have to be obedient. You have to
Mhm.
love them for who they
Yes.
are. You know, they might not always be right because sometimes we adults can learn from the younger people. But some of
Quite
us
true.
fail to realize that, and some of us don't want to accept it.
Yes.
I'm serious. Some of us don't want to
Yes.
accept.
No, that's true. Yes.
As I told some people some time ago, I said, do not always talk to your children. Talk with them. When you talk with them, you'll get more out of them. You
Yeah.
know, younger people, I try to tell them to obey, have patience. Don't be too always be too ready to get hot under the collar. What's she telling me? And this sort of a way.
Yeah.
When you doing something, do it properly. As I say, if you can't do it, go don't do it at all.
Yes. Yes.
The best shot. You know,
Excellent. Excellent. And
love.
Ziana, I thank you once again for sharing, for spending the time with us and sharing with us. My prayer is that God continues to richly bless you and continue to use you as a beacon of His light.
Thank you so much, and I will continue to be there.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Continue sharing
Yes.
and continue doing.
So you take care.
Since I have that breath in me, I will continue doing that.
Lovely. That is exactly what we pray for. Great. And
Yeah,
continue laughing and continue smiling.
I will. Okay.
Lovely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you. I keep loving
take
you people.
care.
Okay, love. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Bye. Take care.